Stop trying to be liked. Stop trying to be attractive. The dating coaches are lying to you. The social media hacks are a scam. But how to get them to chase you videos are feeding you poison. They tell you to wear better clothes. They tell you to learn magic opening lines. They tell you to play childish mind games. They tell you to post highly curated photos to make someone jealous. That is not attraction. That is a hostage negotiation. And you are the hostage. When you try to be attractive, you are screaming to the world that you do not believe you are enough. You are begging for a crumb of validation. You are putting your value in the hands of a stranger and asking them to decide what you are worth. That is not power. It is pathetic. And the tragedy is that they can smell it on you. They can smell the desperation from a mile away. They can smell the hunger for their approval. And nothing, absolutely nothing, is more repulsive than hunger. So stop chasing. Stop hunting. Stop trying to perform. From this moment on, you are retiring from the theater. You are stepping off the stage. I want you to become invisible to their opinions. I want you to become completely, utterly, and beautifully indifferent. You are miserable because you have turned other people into your gods. You wake up and check your screen. No notification. Your mood drops. You send a message and wait. Minutes pass. Hours pass. You check to see if they are online. You analyze the punctuation of a 3-word reply. You wonder what you did wrong. You wonder what you should say next to fix it. Look at yourself. You are a grown adult, and you are being puppeted by a glowing piece of glass. You are allowing the mood of a person who barely knows you to dictate whether you have a good day or a bad day. You have turned your mind into a public park. Anyone can walk in, trash the place, and leave. And you just sit there, cleaning up their garbage, hoping they'll come back tomorrow. Modern self-help tells you to build your self-esteem. They tell you to look in the mirror and repeat positive affirmations. They tell you to practice high-value body language. But those are just band-aids on a gaping wound. If you need a technique to look confident, you are not confident. If you need a script to talk to someone, you are already wearing a mask. And masks eventually slip. You've tried being the nice guy. You've tried being the bad boy. You've tried being the mysterious stranger. And yet, you're still sitting here. Still anxious. Still waiting. Still feeling like you are constantly auditioning for a role you didn't even want. The reason you are failing is simple. You care too much. And in the game of human dynamics, the person who cares the least holds all the cards. This is not a game of manipulation. It is a law of physics. When you push against something, it naturally pushes back. When you chase something, it runs. I don't want you to learn how to chase better. I want you to lose the ability to chase entirely. I want you to reach a point where the thoughts of others don't even register on your radar. Where a rejection doesn't hurt your feelings, it just informs your direction. Where their absence doesn't leave a void because your presence is already too massive. The moment you truly stop seeking their eyes is the exact moment they can't look away. Because a person who needs nothing from the world is the most terrifying and magnetic force on earth. If you are ready to stop being a beggar for attention, if you are ready to step out of the crowd and build a mind of iron, then understand this. This channel is not for the comfortable. It is for the few who are willing to sacrifice their illusions for reality. Subscribe now. Not to give me a number, but to give yourself a daily checkpoint of discipline. To remind yourself that your hunger for approval is a slow-acting poison. Join this small circle of the unshakable. Because the truth we are about to build is too heavy for the weak to hold. 2,000 years ago, Epictetus was born a slave. He was beaten. He was crippled. He had no status, no wealth, and no freedom. By modern standards, he should have been the most desperate, bitter, and invisible man in Rome. But he wasn't. He was freer than the men who owned him. He understood a brutal, beautiful truth. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. The opinions of others? Not up to us. Their affection? Not up to us. Their validation? Not up to us. Epictetus said, if you want anything which is not your own, you will always be a slave. Look at the average person today. They have cars, houses, and money. But they are slaves. They are begging for likes from strangers. They are terrified of being cancelled. They are morphing their personalities to fit into rooms that don't even deserve them. They are weak. And we live in a culture that worships this weakness. A culture that tells you to follow your feelings, even when your feelings are driving you off a cliff. The Stoics didn't follow their feelings. They mastered them. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome. He had absolute power. If he wanted someone to love him, he could order it. If he wanted someone to admire him, they had no choice. Yet, he wrote in his journal, I have often wondered how it should be that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. The emperor of the known world had to remind himself not to care what his subjects whispered in the halls. Because he knew that the moment he cared, he lost his crown. Not his physical crown, but his sovereignty over his own mind. The Stoic concept of indifference is not about being a cold, unfeeling robot. It is not about lockjawed apathy. It is about what they called Adiaphora, the things that are indifferent to our moral character. Reputation, praise, social status, physical attraction, these are all preferred indifference. Sure, it's nice to have them. But they do not make you a better human. And they certainly do not define your worth. When you master this, your entire energy shifts. You no longer enter a room hoping they like you. You enter a room and observe whether you even like them. This is the ultimate paradigm shift. Most people think attraction is about willpower. They think they have to force themselves to look cool, force themselves to speak slowly, force themselves to not text back. That is exhausting. And it is fake. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. Eventually, your arms get tired, the ball shoots up, and everyone sees what you were hiding. We aren't holding the ball underwater. We are letting it float away. This is a matter of identity, not effort. You must shift your identity from a seeker to a source. A seeker is empty. They need water from other people's wells to survive. They show up at the well with a cup, begging for a drink. Sometimes the well is dry. Sometimes the owner of the well kicks them away. But the seeker keep returning, because they think they will die of thirst without it. A source is different. A source is an artesian well. It has its own pressure. It has its own supply. It flows regardless of who is drinking. When you are the source, you do not need their validation to feel alive. You are already alive. Your purpose, your discipline, your daily battles, that is your water. And when you stop needing them to fill your cup, something strange happens. They start bringing their cups to you. This is not a trick. It is the natural order of things. Water flows to the lowest point, but people gravitate to the highest. And the highest point is always the person who is self-contained. How do you implement that indifference rule? You do it by changing what you value. Stop valuing their reaction. Start valuing your action. When you send a message, the success is not in the reply. The success is in the honesty of your communication, and then your immediate return to your work. If they reply, fine. If they don't, fine. Your day does not change by a single millimeter either way. When you go on a date, the goal is not to make them like you. The goal is to see if they align with your standards. Do they have discipline? Do they have self-respect? Or are they just another consumer looking for entertainment? If you find them lacking, you walk away. Not out of anger. Not out of pride. But out of simple, quiet indifference. You do not have time to waste on people who are asleep. You have an empire to build. Even if that empire is just the small space inside your own skull. This is what modern society hates. They want you to be a seeker. They want you to be anxious. Because an anxious person is easy to sell to. An anxious person buys the cologne, the clothes, the subscription, the course. An anxious person is easily distracted. But a self-contained person? You can't sell anything to a person who already has everything they need inside them. You can't control a person who isn't afraid of being alone. The fear of being alone is the ultimate chain. It makes you tolerate bad treatment. It makes you laugh at jokes that aren't funny. It makes you stay in relationships that are slowly eroding your self-respect. Break the chain. Accept the possibility of solitude. Embrace it. Build a life that is so rich, so disciplined, and so focused that anyone who enters it must be an asset, or they must leave. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." You are imagining that if you don't chase, you will be forgotten. You are imagining that if you don't show how much you care, you will lose them. But the opposite is true. When you chase, you are already lost. You have abandoned your own territory to go begging in theirs. Go back to your territory. Rebuild your walls. Cultivate your fields. Focus on your physical body, your financial sovereignty, and your mental fortress. Make your life so beautiful that you would only invite someone into it if they elevated it. And if they don't? Indifference. If they walk away? Indifference. If they betray you? Indifference. You do not punish them with anger. Anger is a confession of pain. Anger means they still have power over you. Anger means they are still important enough to make you feel something. The opposite of love is not hate. It is indifference. When you are indifferent, they do not exist to you. They are like the wind. Sometimes the wind is warm. Sometimes it is cold. But you don't argue with the wind. You just wear a coat. This is the invincibility of the Stoics. They did not fight the world. They let the world beat itself against their shields until it got tired and went home. Stop being a leaf blown by every breeze of opinion. Become the mountain. The mountain doesn't ask the clouds for permission to stand. The mountain doesn't care if the clouds cover it for a day, or if the sun shines on it tomorrow. It just remains. Cold. Silent. Immovable. And eventually, the clouds pass. And the mountain is still there. The next time you feel the panic rising. The next time you feel the urge to double text, to apologize for nothing, to explain yourself to someone who doesn't care. Stop. Breathe. Look at your hands. Remember who you are. Remember the thousands of ancestors who fought through real pain so you could be here. Do you really think they did all that so you could cry over a blue check mark? Kill the urge. Turn off the screen. And go do something hard. Go lift. Go work. Go read. Go build. Put your energy into something that actually returns your investment. People are volatile. The market is volatile. The only stable currency is your own character. Invest there. And watch how quickly the world changes its attitude toward you. When they see that you cannot be bought, they will try to earn you. When they see that you cannot be shaken, they will want to anchor themselves to you. When they see that you do not need them, they will realize how much they need you. But by then, you won't even care. Because you will have discovered the greatest secret of all. That the most attractive thing in the universe is not a face, or a body, or a bank account. It is a soul that has set itself free from the need for external permission. Stop begging. Start standing. You are the prize. Act like it. And let the world chase you for a change. The era of your desperation is over. The time of your sovereignty has begun. Your mind is your kingdom. Govern it with iron. Or watch it fall. The crown is on your head. Do not drop it for a peasant.